Big O Show. This is the 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 Big O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen, epic deals await you at Toyota of Hollywood. You don't have to battle to get discounts of up to $4,500. Your chariot awaits. A Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our arena where everyone is victorious at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
It's the place to go for South Florida sports.
morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. It's a Tuesday. It's a rockin' Tuesday. Yeah, that's what happens when you are going to go see the Struts and Dirty Honey. It's a rockin' Tuesday is what it is, baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's cool. Like all your cooling. That's what it is. It's cool. Like all your cooling. That's what it's all about, baby. Yes, sir. Anyway, and welcome aboard to All Your Cooling, of course. Proud sponsor of our program, Tommy, doing great work. It's a cool day. Not for Quentin Bell. Did you notice something, Sean? If you're associated with the Campana, it's not a good thing here in Miami. Not a good thing here in Miami. Today we cut Quentin Bell. Inter Miami traded Leo Campana 2 months ago, a month ago, whatever the hell it was. The bell, the Campana, not a good thing here in South Florida. We don't ring it. Anita Ward will, but we won't. Bunch of you out there are going, what the is Anita Ward? And then there's some of you out there that actually got it. But hey, you know, the references will be new. The references will be old. You've got to be culturally educated here on the program. So it's up to you. That's the only way you can keep up with all the references going on the show. Anyway, so no good to be a Campana in South Florida. If your name rings that kind of bell, change it before you come to South Florida, and you got a better shot at sticking to a roster. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Ira Winderman will join us. Manny Navarro will join us. So we'll have a little fun with Manny. And it is game week, which is really cool. And so we'll get his thoughts leading up to Notre Dame on Sunday. So going to have some fun. And let's see here. Sorry, got to answer a text here. Anyway, just hanging in there, and we'll talk about the Canes with him, and we'll get ready for a little Notre Dame action and the Canes. Can't wait for that game on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, if you're going to be at the Hard Rock Live in Orlando today, reach out to me on social medias, and we'll hook up. I'll be at the Struts and Dirty Honey. I got my Dirty Honey shirt on already. I'm ready to go. I love both bands. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right. We do have news. As you all know, I don't know. You probably have that video somewhere. I don't know what the hell, but I many times told you guys, and nobody told you this, okay? And it's pretty cool the way it worked out. But I'm pretty sure if you go look, I'm 1,000% sure. If you go back and look at the videos, okay, and you guys were asking about the free agent corners and what's going on, I told you over and over again, the free agent corners wanted what? $4, $5, $6 million. At any point, did I ever mention 3 there, Sean? Did I ever say 3? No, right? It all started always at 4. I always said, 4, 5, 6. They all want $4, $5, $6 million. And I told you, Miami's not interested in paying. I mean, it is the off season of no urgency, right? I think I've been trying to tell you this the entire time, right? And apparently the Rasul Butler camp got the message, and they lowered their number to 3. And that's when low-hanging fruit Chris Greer came in and, all right, we'll pick up a mediocre corner for $3 million. And I mean, don't set a high bar for Rasul Butler. He's here because he's a veteran, and they hope he can play a little better than these guys. But it's not like you're getting some kind of shutdown corner. There's a reason why he's there.
There's a reason why nobody wanted to sign any of these guys and give them the $4, $5, $6 million. Miami had like 17 million under the cap. So for them, they were willing to go probably in the 2 to 3 area. And they went in the 3 area, and that's it. And that's as far as they were going to go. So if Rasul wanted to play, the number for him was going to go down because as the weeks go on, the proration shortens. So the league told Asante Samuel and Rasul Butler and all these guys, you're no big deal. Okay? It's not a contender going after Rasul Butler. You know, our Dolphins are not contenders, right? You guys do know that, right? It's a middling team that went after him, and he's signing for $3 million with a middling team. That means a really good team maybe offers him 2, 1.5, plus it may not be a no-tax state. You know, all these kind of things. Remember the whole 1.5 for Ramsey and people like, they paid him more. No, dude, those are moving expenses. It's just people don't understand the shit that goes on here. So we're the only ones. You didn't get it in any outlet, national, local. Nobody was telling you these guys want $4, $5, and $6 million. So now they've all, at least Rasul finally lowered his number. And Chris Greer with the low-hanging fruit said, whatever, $3 million, okay. We need an experienced corner that's nothing special. That's why we're giving him $3 million, because he's just more experienced than these guys, but he's nothing special. You know what I'm saying? So, and now you're signing him, and he's got 2 empty weeks to get ready for the regular season. That's also not good for him. You know what I'm saying? That opens you up for injury and everything, too, on top of all of that. But it's not really the ideal situation. But don't, make it sound like it's anything great or whatever. He's a guy. He's all right, whatever. You know what I mean? We've had corners here. I think we know what really good corners look like, okay? You know, maybe Rasul Butler has something left in the tank that he can show us, but, you know, it is what it is. Sean, of course, keep up with any of the other moves if they continue to make any other moves, because I'm sure they'll be either releasing people because they've got to get down to the 53 by 4 o'clock, or they could be making minor trades to kind of tweak the back end of the roster and fill some spots and those kind of things. So Rasul Butler, 1 year at a low-hanging fruit price, as we told you. Don't forget, folks, to please smash the hell out of the like button. Please, please, please. It is important you smash. We got 148 people watching right now, and only 42 have hit the like button. So you guys could, in a second, you guys can, make that counter go to 100. Like this. It go to 100. 3 digits, right away, right now. If you just went over and hit the like button. That's it. So Sean and myself would appreciate it. Gets the algorithms going, gets it out to more people, and they can find out more about the platform and all that good stuff and, support us. We're in our 6th year. So, yes, Sean.
The Dolphins have released defensive lineman Matt Dickerson. That's from Barry Jackson. He had a strong camp, but unfortunately for him, the Dolphins drafted 3 defensive linemen.
I kind of like him. He looked like he had they're probably going to try to hope to sneak him onto the practice squad is probably what it's going to be. That's one of those tough ones. Yeah. So anyway, just a rough one. So there you go. We got Quentin Bell and Matt Dickerson, and then they signed Rasul Douglas today to a 1-year, $3 million deal. All right. Let's see. What do we got here on the chat board? It's starting to move. We're at 67. We're at 157 and 67. Come on. Let's go. Get us to 100. Come on. We can do that quickly. Finn Rule, I see, is number 1 in the chat board. Rasul Douglas had a significant drop in performance Career high passer rating, allowed 116.9, no interceptions, and committing a career high 10 penalties. Not thrilled. He's available. He's been available the entire offseason, and nobody wanted to meet their ridiculous numbers. So the season was about to start, and they had to sign with somebody. I've explained it to you right now. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be, oh my God, we got Rasul Douglas. It's a Super Bowl. You know, he's just a guy. He's just an experienced guy over a bunch of guys that you just can't trust, and you don't know what the hell they're going to do. That's all. NorCal's jamming tunes. Jeff in Long Island. Oscar Rojas is smashing it, and the like button too. Dolphin Dave. One-Eyed Jack, loving the dip. I know, dude. Definitely. And definitely that was a Chris Greer special with Rasul. No doubt. True Finn fan. He's looking at 6-11, 7-10. Giovanni is in. Jamie Zorrea in San Jose. Alexis Palenzuela. The Jaybird is in the house. He's smashing it. And, of course, please support our sponsors, our great sponsors. Eddie Lepp, Chris Johnson, Kosa. Losing Jason Sanders for a significant amount of time is very detrimental to an already wobbly team. No, Kosa. Just listen to some of our Dolphins. We're winning 10, 11 games. Maybe even the division. Buffalo's going down, bro. What are you talking about? This roster's loaded. We got one of the greatest X's and O's coach on the planet, baby. He can counter anything you do. His teams run perfectly, in sync, never a penalty. I don't know what you're talking about. He wins every challenge. It's in the bag, baby. Big Johnson, Gabriel Perez, Kenneth West, Lisa Rose, Christopher Ryan. Let's see. Scott Weatherington. Rasul Butler is the basketball player. Rasul Douglas, big O. Oh, okay, whatever. Douglas, Butler. It's all the same shit. Really, you're going to get about the same crap out of it. Butler, Douglas, whatever. But hey, I'm glad you can contribute to the program. Horn Dog, Fernando, The Realist, Jonathan, Bellholic, what else? Gus 1388. I got that. John Padilla, headed to Spain. We'll see you there, bro. We'll be there in Madrid. And we're going to set up a broadcast bar, hopefully. We're working on that. So we'll see. Let's see. The Douglas signing reminds me of Jordan P. signing, fearing a late game, deciding penalty against the Bills again. Yeah, it's a Poyer. Yeah, this is like a Poyer-like signing. Yes. Yes, it's a very good comparison. Very good comparison. Yeah, it's if I get something out of this, great. You know, if Rasul Douglas, Butler, whatever, does something, I'll be surprised. Put it that way. But am I looking at this like some kind of savior? No, dude. This is because the entire secondary is trash, and you got to get something. And there you go. And they lowered the number, and so that's what they were willing to pay. A secondary guy that ain't nothing. It's so Dolphins to lose a kicker during warmups of a preseason game. It is Pat in Nashville. It is kind of what we do. Now, it's funny because hilarious how we've come full circle, right? Because one guy says, and it's true, that losing Jason Sanders for, a certain amount of time is going to be something detrimental. But we weren't really thinking that 2 years ago. When he was in his funk, we were like, hey, bro, I think it might be time to part ways with Jason Sanders. And now it's like, oh, my God, I hate to lose him. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. We are the show and the media outlet that gives you more insight on the Dolphins than anyone else. So we appreciate it immensely. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. You can also make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. NorCal says Darren Waller just received Mental Reps All-Pro of the Offseason Award. Looking for a rebound season. Yep. Yes, sir. I mean, he's ready for the regular season. You had him here the entire training camp. Think about how insane this is. You signed the guy in time for training camp. Before you even put on pads, he was here. He was here days before this the off season, the training camp started. You could have started him from the infantile stage of training camp to get him ready. And you chose not to. You chose not to practice him. You chose not to scrimmage him. You chose not to play him in any preseason games. You gave us some bullshit excuse because it's all a lie. Clearly something's going on with that dude. I mean, it's the weirdest thing in the world. Come on. Like, we're celebrating that he was able to put on a uniform this past week. Oh, Darren, we're so happy for you. Is that what Mike McDaniel's doing, Mr. Positive? Like, he's there, Darren, I'm really proud of you. You did a great job putting on your uniform and stretching. And then he reminded us at the podium that there were no setbacks. What have you done? Sean Stanley has done more to get ready for the regular season than Darren Waller has. And Sean hasn't even gone to camp this year. Yet he's better prepared for the regular season than Darren Waller is. This is some weird shit, dude. This is some weird, unseen shit. And I've been around a long time. I've never seen anything like this. This is the oddest thing for a player to start a season. You had the guy there for the entire training camp, and he never did anything. What? Was he afraid of dropping passes in front of fans or something? I really, it's beyond me. So, kickers are indispensable nowadays. It shouldn't be too hard for the Finns to find a decent replacement, or they could just go for the touchdown for the first month or so. Whatever. Yes, sir.
Derek McClendon. He has been let go. That leaves Good, Kamara, Grayson Murphy right now as edge players 5 through 7. Obviously, the top 4, Chubb, Phillips, Chop, and Judon. That comes from Barry Jackson. And then also a former Dolphin has been released. Duke Riley did not make the Commanders' 53-man roster.
Okay. Special teamer. But that's what Cam Good is. So I think that's what they're doing. And if Cam Good survives, it's probably because he's the last linebacker, and then he's, an excellent and I don't think McClendon is considered an excellent special teamer. So on the back end of that position, that you need to be more flexible and help out in other ways. And that's where Cam Good's skills come into play and into that decision. So you've got to be a contributor on the back end. If you're a running back, if you're a corner, if you're a linebacker, if you're sometimes even a safety too. Sometimes that final safety is not necessarily a great cover safety, but he's like an excellent special teamer, and you'll sacrifice it and things like that. just happens that way. It's just kind of the way the league rolls. But it's a shame because I'm sure they want to stick McClendon onto the practice squad. Maybe somebody will get him if they need extra pass rushing help, because he can definitely help out in that area. He looked like he had, there was a lot of linebackers this year. They did a really good job coming up with a nice group of linebackers outside of the top guys that, you expect to be there, of course. Let's see what else. Big Johnson says he'll just be another player we sign and never make it onto the field the whole season. Seen this before. Listen, I hope not, but it doesn't give us a lot of hope, put it that way. Darren Waller doesn't inject any kind of confidence in the move. Right now, there is no confidence in the tight end position, period. You literally have to lie to yourself. And say, oh, no, everything will work out. No, Darren Waller will figure it out. You have no proof of that. All you have proof of is that he's a failure everywhere else, and he has given up. And he's been here for a couple of months and did nothing. That's scary, dude. Like a professional. Any professional. Many of you out there are professionals. Okay? Sean and I, we get paid to do this. We're professionals. All right? When you have pride in what you do, well, you do it to the best of your ability. And I'm wondering, what is Darren Waller made of that he can hang around for weeks and watch everybody else work and you do nothing and you're not injured? I'm wondering what kind of an unprofessional person are you that you can see everybody paying their dues, everybody trying to prepare from the get-go, and you're not doing jack shit. These are the things nobody talks about, right? Well, what do you think other players are thinking about Darren Waller? Look at this fucking guy. He's just hanging around. We're all running our asses off, and we're sweating and hitting each other and getting pissed off and frustrated and getting in fights. And this slap dick is standing there on the sidelines. You think they're not saying that? I mean, this has been the biggest load of shit that I've ever seen being laid on a fan base. Darren Waller. It's disgusting, dude. You're cashing a check and you're doing absolutely nothing to help your teammates out to prepare for the season. Now, I don't know. You might have gotten everything by osmosis or something. I'm not sure. So all of a sudden now you're going to start the regular season and you're not going to miss a beat. And we're supposed to count on you? Yeah. I know there's some idiot fans out there going, no, they had secret practices just for Darren Waller to get him prepared. No, they didn't. No. They did their workout and that's it. It's in their contracts. They're not going to go and do a separate workout for an entire team for one individual, one quitter, because that's what Darren Waller is. Okay, that's all I know. He quit on rapping, he quit on football, and he quit on his wife. That's all I know about that guy. All I know is he's a quitter. And so far, he's acted like a quitter. That's all I know about Darren Waller. Darren Waller is unprofessional. He's a quitter. He is truly not committed. He's got no scruples whatsoever. Because to watch everybody else paying their dues and you somehow don't motivate your ass to get out there on the field and play with everybody else, dude, who are you, bro? Who are you? That I already know. I already can question, your character is already being questioned because There's plenty of reasons to question Darren Waller's character. There's plenty of reasons to say he ain't got shit when it comes to character. And so far, doggy, that's what you've proven to me. You've been around here for 5-6 weeks and you refuse to do anything? You know, this is ridiculous, dude. Like, it's insulting to every other player on the team. Seriously. And it's insulting to us because it's a quitter, and then there's Julian Hill and Tanner Connor. And Farrell Brown was just a guy, bro. Please give me a break. Whether he made the roster or didn't make the roster, who gave a shit? It's Farrell Brown. Not going anywhere anyways with that guy. It's just, this is pathetic. That's all I can tell you. Pathetic. And I don't know how this ends well. I hope it does. I hope I'm wrong. But I'm not exactly sure how this thing ends well. Because there is zero proof to think that this will end well, because there's nothing. We have nothing to stand on right now. We're just hoping that the guy can figure it out and the light will go back on. Makes zero sense, you know? By the way, Welton Rayom, proud sponsors of our program. We love talking about Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Give them a ring. The consultation's completely free. All right. So if you something happened to you, you don't know if you have a case, call them. Lots of our listeners here in South Florida, on the West Coast, in Central Florida, on the Gold Coast have called. We haven't had a panhandle person yet that's been listening to our show, but they handle it here in Florida, and they have their own adjusters. Never, ever call the insurance company if there's a pipe broken, water damage, rain damage, wind damage, hurricane damage. Never call the insurance companies. You call Welton Rayom, they have their own adjusters. And then they send their adjusters who are working for you, and they attack the insurance company. You never have to call the insurance company. The only thing you do is pick up a check at Welton Rayom. 954-966-4646. All right, let's switch gears here. Let's talk a little basketball and talk a little Miami Heat with the one and only Ira Winderman in our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. How are you doing, Ira? You hanging in there?
Yep, doing good. Looking forward to a little Eurobasket starting tomorrow. Get to see a little Fontecchio, a little Pelle Larsson, hopefully a lot of Nikola Jovic, because I really think playing alongside Nikola Jokic and Bojan Bogdanovic, he might be able to show a little bit more of who he is and what he is. So it's kind of weird in August watching basketball, but I think it could be a meaningful 2 or 3 weeks for all three of those players.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure we'll have some idiot Heat fans like telling us that Jokic's relationship with Jovic from the EuroLeagues will bring him to Miami, and we'll have that new whale search for, because he'll be disgruntled in Denver and he'll want to come to Miami. So I can already see those stories coming, because everybody wanted to come play with Bam. So now the new one will be everybody wants to come play with Jovic. So I can just...
You know what, Big O? I know there's a little sarcasm and wryness there, but I do think you make a strong point for this reason. We've got to stop with the hope peddling. It is destructive. It is counterintuitive. Stop trying to tease people every year from June through August about who might be coming. Focus on what you have, what you can build, what you can deliver. Decide if Bam is enough, if Tyler is enough, if Jovic is enough, if Jaquez is enough, if Ware is enough, if Yakuchonis is enough. That's fine, but you got to get real. Look, there was an era when there was not a second apron, when the luxury tax wasn't as punitive. And you could dream of LeBron, of Chris Bosh, of Shaquille O'Neal, of Jimmy Butler, of Goran Dragic. But just like you with your Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the world changes and you have to adjust. And right now you can see Oklahoma City Thunder, defending NBA champions, build through youth, build through collecting assets, build through patience and some very difficult years. So you know what? If there's one thing I would say that I agree with you, which is hard to do for me at any time of day, let alone in the morning, it is this. You've got to stop the hope peddling of this guy could be available and maybe this guy will come free and maybe LeBron will finish here. Appreciate what you have, grow it from within. The Heat are at a point now they can do that, maybe even more so than the Dolphins. The Heat are at a point now where you can say in a year or 2 or 3, there is genuine chance for growth now. There's nothing wrong with enjoying it just like a family. Enjoy the growth of your team.
You're preaching to the choir, brother. I mean, that's what I've been saying for years now because I knew they had no shot at any of these whales and because they are refusing to adjust to the new times. Mm-hmm. And while I want to see the young guys, Ware and Jovic and my boy Pelle Larsson, I get that. What I would like to do with those guys is compliment them by trading the tradable pieces and getting those future picks and surrounding it with those young guys. And then I can really maybe take off and all that. But they're not willing to do that. So we're going in this direction.
Not willing yet. Yes.
But I'm glad what you said because it needs to end already because every year it's all this crazy hopium and it just makes no sense. And people have to understand, okay, the Heat are not the Heat anymore. It's just kind of the way it is. They're not that franchise that they used to.
Under the Heat, right. It's cyclical. It's the world we live in. You can push for playoffs all you want, but at some point you might need to step back. You might need to reconsider. You might need to, at the fork in the road, look at the other pathway to what you can do and grow from within. So as long as you can tell me, hey, I enjoyed watching Jovic the other day. Hey, man, Ware those 3 blocks, that kid is something on defense. That's something too. And that counts also, which is why I don't think there's going to be a more important period this time, this year, this season on our Acura of Pembroke Pines report than the 3 weeks in October when Tyler Hero is eligible for its extension. Because if the Heat lock him into some deal, could be as much as $50 million, I would think less, you're locking in which fork on the road you're going to take. Yes. So I think it's going to be really curious from October 1 to October, I believe October 20, the window there for that extension. Give us a signal. Pat Riley, send that puff of smoke up. What are you going to do? How are you going to elect the direction of your team going forward? And again, I think there's enough patience for you and I to sit here every week, even during football season, on our Acura Pembroke Pines report and say, Ira, I like how this guy is growing, and this guy is growing, and this guy is growing. But I also have concerns about A, B, and C as opposed to X, Y, and Z. That's fine also. That's real life. That's how it happens instead of just saying, well, we're just going to sell something that's just not there.
Yeah, no, it's just we also have to reprogram the fans because they have to understand that the Heat isn't the sexy team anymore. 2, they're not playing by the rules of today's game. So because of that, they are not a player in free agency anymore. And that's what a lot of fans want to go back to the way Riley used to do things, but he can't do things the way he used to. And fans have to adjust and think, oh no, just we'll get the next star and the next those days are done, dude.
But here's the thing. It can't be Orlando Alzagari reprogramming. It can't be Ira Winderman or the other media. It has to be the Heat. It has to be Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra sitting there and going, we will grow this thing. It has to be Mickey Harrison during Hall of Fame weekend, a weekend from this weekend, saying, hey, we did it one way. We had the glory years. Now there's another path to go, just like in any business, including his cruise line business that is constantly reinventing himself. That's part of life also. So I think what has to happen, look, I've spoken to people in the Heat. They respect Pat Riley's championship or misery, but they realize the times have changed. You can enjoy a nice playoff run. You can enjoy a fun playoff series. you can enjoy winning the lottery. There's a lot of ways that you can get joy between championship and misery. That's what the Heat have to stress. Eric Spoelstra is going to come out on Media Day on September 29th and say, hey, we're going for it because that's who we are. But what is going for it? And is going for it growing our young players, developing our future core, putting things together and getting our ducks in order. For the first time in years, the Heat have just one outstanding first-round pick due because of the god-awful Terry Rozier trade in hindsight. But they only have one outstanding. For years, they've had two or more outstanding. Get your draft picks in order. Get your cap in order. Get your youth in order. There's a way to make this and grow it. So you take steps. Last season, 37 wins. Maybe next, 41 wins and 500. But grow in those steps that get you somewhere. Instead of that sort of up and down cycle we saw in the Jimmy Butler years where it becomes all or nothing in the playoffs.
By the way, speaking of Terry Rozier, because the other guy also not part of the investigation anymore, do we know if this is also...
No, we don't. And even today it came out, Front Office Sports had a really interesting report. Yes, Malik Beasley is not the subject of the investigation, but he's also not been exonerated, and he still can be charged. He's just not the kingpin. And I think what has been the case all along, whether it's Terry or Malik Beasley or Jonte Porter, is who's running all this? Who's reaching out to NBA players? Who's setting this up? So that doesn't mean there's innocence there. It just means they are not the subject of primary interest. And it goes on. And anyone who knows about federal investigations, it's their own timetable. There's no 82-game schedule. There's no 10-month schedule. They will get around to it to when they damn well please. And until then, even beyond his game, Terry Rozier will remain toxic because who wants to take that on? But I don't want to say silver lining because it's not fair to Terry. But if he is involved or he is charged and the money comes off the books, you know what it is, Big O? You're old enough to remember this. It becomes the Anthony Carter get out of jail free card when Anthony Carter forgot to re-up at his option date. And all of a sudden they got Lamar Odom in free agency and started the pathway to the Shaq trade. So this Terry Rozier thing has two tentacles for the Heat. One, you're stuck with $26 million contract as of now. But two, if that money disappears, oh my God, you talk about your Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the path to financial freedom for the Heat would be that. Because when that comes off the books, then there's a whole host of things they can do to reset a lot faster than right now. So that remains very much watching on multiple fronts for the Heat and for Terry Rozier.
Big three, a little Heat action in the championship. I don't watch the stuff, to be quite honest. I don't really care about the big three. But I did see the highlights because obviously
it was fun. I watched. It was fun.
And Beasley were in it. So your thoughts on it? I mean,
you know, it reminds me of when they had the and one league, and there were guys who were great dunkers, and they could do individual stuff, but they weren't NBA players. Michael Beasley, at his age of 36 right now, remains one of the best one-on-one basketball players on planet Earth. Honestly, if you put him against Anthony Edwards, if you put him against an elite NBA scorer one-on-one, he would contend. That's what he does. Can he defend? Can he make passes? Can he read the defense? Can he run an offense? No. But here's the deal. That team, Miami 305, shared a $1 million prize for winning the championship game in Orlando on Sunday. You can do the math on a 5-player team. So Michael Beasley makes $100,000 for playing 10 weekends in the Big Three during the regular season, made another $200,000 on Sunday. God bless him. Beasley gets to do what he wants, gets $300,000 for playing half-court 3-on-3 basketball with a bunch of old men. God bless him. I'm glad he's happy. And to see Mario Chalmers hit another big shot, just like he did at Kansas against Memphis in the championship game in the NCAAs to send it to overtime, good. I'm glad these guys are having fun because as much as Michael Beasley wasn't what the Heat wanted, he was always a good guy. And you know what? Now that it's legal and everyone is lighting up anywhere to the point that players at the U.S. Open are saying the smell is affecting them playing tennis, it's just a way of the world. So if Super Cool Bees wants to be Super Cool Bees, God bless him. And if Mario Chalmers still wants to chase a chance for basketball glory, God bless him. It's fun. It's August. I have no issue. But as you saw today, my first Ask Ira, can the Heat bring Michael Beasley back? No, they can't, because no, they shouldn't, because he's 36 years old, and God bless Super Cool. but we moved on. But yeah, it was a fun moment on Sunday. And you know what, Big O? Sports still can be that. They still can be a moment. You read it in the paper. I watched it live where you smile and you go, good for those guys.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I deal with Dolphins. Bring back Xavier Howard. I mean,
right.
Speaking of weed, plenty of that being smoked for that one. All right. What do you got going on in the South Florida Sun Sentinel? So, folks,
I wrote about how the Heat are still working on their roster. They're limited to 21 players in the offseason. They're at 20 right now. Steve Settle, a stretch 3 from Temple, will be eventually signed. They're maneuvering their signings. So you have that going on. I wrote my Sunday column about Eurobasket. Again, even though it's not Heat games, there's so much we can see. I know you love Pelle Larsson. He's on a bad Sweden team that shouldn't advance. But I want to see what he can do as a leading man. Will he ever be a Heat leading man? No. But this is a nice showcase for him. We saw what he did in Summer League as a leading man. You want to see your players grow. His $2 million contract is probably the most cost-effective contract on the Heat roster now. So he'll be playing for Sweden. That starts on Wednesday. Simon Fontecchio with Italy had a terrible shooting season last year with Detroit. But if he comes around with his shot, hey, with Duncan Robinson gone, the Heat don't have a lot of shooting. Curious to see what he does with Italy. But the entire story is the favorites in the tournament, Serbia. And what can Nikola Jovic do? And this is his forum when you're playing with guys like Bogdanovic, with Jokic, with Nikola Topic, the player from the Oklahoma City Thunder. He can show if he's ready for the next step. There's a reason Eric Spoelstra went to his game in Belgrade over the weekend, spoke to him, spoke to his agent. And here's part 2. For months, Orlando Alzagari has been berating me about a Tyler Hero extension with the words, no, 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 no. But, Big O, Nikola Jovic is now eligible for an extension. And I say lock the guy up. And I say if you can get the guys for 4 years at $50 million at a reasonable price, $12 to $15 million a year, I like Nikola Jovic a lot. And I think his play in Eurobasket and maybe the start of the season will give you a better window. But you know what? If you're saying
$15 million ain't shit in the NBA.
It's like 8% of the salary cap. So if a guy can even be a sixth man, get it done now. Because Big O, if you want the Heat to work with their young assets, you have to keep your young assets.
No, I like that. Plus, Jovic has got some balls. He's got an edge to him, and that's what I like about Larsson. I think
put on the muscle, and he's grown up. You forget how young Jovic is. That he's 22 years old. There's so much of a future. Look. What has been the classic Heat case with these guys? You develop a little and you trade them away for some really old guy, like with the Shaquille O'Neal trade that they made, even the Dragic trade they made as an older player.
That's a team in a different stage also. So some of those moves made sense at that time to add veterans. At this time, you got to go young, man. You got to go young. That's why I love Larsson. I think Larsson can turn into like a bulldog six man, a better skilled Posey, let's put it that way. Offensive.
And you have him for 2 more years at the minimum. Lock up Jovic. You have Khalil Ware under his rookie contract. You have Jakakotis under his rookie contract. You have Jaime Jaquez, who you still get to look at. Don't just throw these guys right and left. Remember, there was the Durant trade that you were against, and you were going to shovel everyone out of there, and Houston outmatched the Heat's offer. So let's look at these guys. Let's see what they do. But don't judge it on a game-by-game basis. Go week by week, month by month. Understand young players need time also. And if you don't have that championship or misery approach and say, hey, come to Kaseya Center. Watch young players grow. Watch us develop our Barkov. Watch us develop our young players. You can see eventually there will be a payoff, but there has to be patience to get that payoff.
Oh, I have no problem. What I hate is chasing your tail. Is what I hate. At least here, there's a method to the madness. You're actually trying to build with these young guys. But, you're living in this fantasy of trying to, the hopium. Every year you're trying to get a piece that you don't have the chips to play poker, and you keep lying to yourself and the fan base and all that. I hated that because it's just not realistic anymore. And you're unwilling to see the landscape has changed, and you're not adjusting, and it's disturbing, dude. It really is disturbing.
It's going to start.
Listen, you and I are old enough, okay? We can talk about this shit. We watched Shula get old. The salary cap hit him, and he was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And he put him in cap hell right away because that's what Jimmy inherited. He inherited a whole bunch of cap problems because the old man didn't know. And I hate to say this, but there's a lot of that going on right now. The league changed the way they did things, and the Heat has not adjusted.
But I think Eric Spoelstra will. And I think Eric Spoelstra enjoys a challenge. And I think Eric Spoelstra enjoys developing. So let him do that and judge the results more on, is there growth? Instead of you and I sitting here in May or April in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report talking about the Heat record, what we need to be talking about, Big O, is did Jovic grow? Did Jaquez grow? Did Ware grow? Did the rookie grow? That's what's going to matter as much, because we saw with the Panthers, you have to build up to that. You have to develop internally also, or develop to a point where you have so many trade ships, you could say, hey, we finally have a wealth of riches. They have done great in the draft recently. They have offloaded all of those undrafted players. Say what you want about Strus and Vincent and Caleb Martin. They're not working with molding guys who aren't good enough. They're molding first-round picks now because they've kept their picks. Now this is the developmental process. Play in playoff secondary. Will the Miami Heat get better? At the end of the season, will you tell me X, Y, and Z have gotten better? That's what this season should be about.
I'm 100% with you there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. And, of course, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you. Appreciate you immensely. We will catch up next week, my friend.
And next week, we'll talk about Mickey Harrison's week of going into the Hall of Fame. We'll talk about owners in South Florida. Should be interesting. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. He's definitely one of the best owners in South Florida history and one of the best dealerships in the country, the best Acura dealership here in South Florida by far, bar none, baby. It is Acura of Pembroke Pines. Go see Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the great people out there, man. It's the Summer of Performance event going on right now. We got 3.9% financing for 60 months on the 2025 Integra, $299 a month. The ADX, brand new sedan, new model, man. Beautiful, by the way. You're going to love it. 2025 model, $299 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, you can get a 2025 model. My wife drives an RDX every day, 4.9% financing for 60 months. And the ZDX Type S, 2024 model. We still have a few. You can get it for $469 a month, 0% financing for 72 months. Remember, the $7,500 tax break is going away. Okay, so you're not going to get $7,500 off an electric car. The orangutan has eliminated that. You can still get it right now. Take advantage at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Yes, sir. What you got?
We got quite a few cuts during that time. Eric Ezukama, he gone. Okay. Theo Weiss also cut. Patrick McMorris also released. And then also on the Canes side, former kicker Andy Borgalis. He has won the kicking job in New England.
Okay. All right. No surprise, Ezukama, Theo Weiss, Patrick McMorris, those are all guys you expected to be cut. Maybe they'll try to slide. I could see maybe Weiss or Ezukama to the practice squad or something like that. It's probably what they'll do. Not a big deal. No surprise there. Anybody that told you Theo Weiss or something would make the team because he had a couple catches late in a preseason game, then they don't know what they're talking about. But Ezukama, I doubt anybody told you Ezukama. I could see somebody telling you, oh, no, Weiss will stick. No. Practice squad, maybe. Something like that. But, yeah, outside of that, nothing real surprising there, to be quite honest. All right, what do we have here? By the way, speaking of the orangutan, since I just spoke of the orangutan, I got to congratulate Trump and the boys. Okay, I don't know if you know this, Sean. Not sure if you know this, But in the last 48 days, our debt has grown by over $1+ trillion. The orangutan is printing at record numbers, bro. Record numbers. Like, he put 7.8 trillion the last time he was in office. Biden beat him at 8.2 trillion. He is going for 10 trillion, doggy. He's going to go for, I already knew he was going for 10 because it didn't matter who was the president, Democrat or Republican, they were going to print like crazy. It's all I can keep saying. They keep devaluing one currency, and one currency only goes the other way. So, just saying, $1+ trillion our deficit has grown in the last 48 days. Okay. It's gonna explode. Explode. All right. The Jets are waiving Malachi Corley. I see there. I don't know who he is, but you know, he's got a Malachi name, so we might as well go with it. What the hell? Matt Dickerson was kind of a surprise. That one I'm a little surprised, but I get it because they hit on the other guys. But man, Jesus, tell you. And by the way, one more thing. Firing the Fed governor, Lisa Cook, is also another thing to, you know, print more money, put in a Fed that will lower rates and devalue the currency even more. So just telling you, get that Bitcoin, folks. Get that Bitcoin. Not that I'm a financial advisor. Dolphin 5370 says, it's so hard being a Dolphin. I've seen the Panthers, Marlins, and Heat win multiple championships in my lifetime. Still waiting to see at least one from my Dolphins before I'm gone. Yeah, it's going to be tough. TJ Superman in the house. True Fin fan. In this show, you learn something every day. I never thought or knew that Shula had so much problems with the cap. To me, it was just he got old. I was also 17, so inexperience was huge. You know, one magnificent thing that Jimmy did was clean up the cap because Shula made a mess of the old man had no idea, dude. The cap had just gone in. It was something new he had to adjust to, and he sucked as a general manager. So then on top of all of that, you're also making bad fiscal decisions because not only do you make bad moves for bad players, Shula, but then you're also paying bad players. And then it just became a real problem. And to Jimmy's credit, he inherited a terrible cap issue that he had to straighten out. And then he was able to build a defense. Now, he destroyed an offense and hurt Marino, and that's a whole other ball game and another conversation and all that. But what is going on with Pat Riley and the Miami Heat remind me so much of Shula. Two men that cannot adjust to the change of their team. And in life, baby, you better be ready to adjust on the fly. Okay? It happens to you. It happens to me. It happens to all of us. All right? We were all walking around with tape decks. I went and bought my own digital recorder. My own mini disc. In fact, there's a mini disc player back there. So it's a mini disc, and it's a multiple thing that I can play mini discs on it and cassettes and all kinds of shit. Anyway, so it just, you got to adjust. You know, I knew that platforms were the way, and I had to get the hell out of QAM one way or another. Because there was no way I was going to stay there tied to that system, and I hated it. Plus, I'm not a guy that toes the corporate line and goes with all their bullshit and all that. That's just not who I am. I don't like lying to the public. That's not in my DNA. You know what I'm saying? So you got to adjust. I see what's going on with money in our world. You got to adjust. I mean, there are so many examples in life, right? You were walking around with cash. Now you got credit cards, or you got checks. Then you got credit cards. You know, this is how it goes. You have to adjust. You used to get your mail. Now you get your email. And a lot of people, you say, oh, no, I'll never use that. And now everybody's using email. If you don't adjust, you die. Shula could not adjust, and he was pushed out. And Pat Riley's been fortunate, but he has not adjusted. And he's doing exactly what Shula did. He is failing exactly the way Shula failed. He's just lucky that he's not coaching and failing in the front office at the same time. That's what Shula was doing. So it was a double whammy. He's lucky he's got the best coach in the NBA, better than him at X's and O's. Yeah, I don't know if maybe some of you are new to this show. I've said this many times over. Eric Spoelstra is a better X's and O's coach than Pat Riley ever was. Pat Riley's a motivator, way better than Spo. Okay? No doubt about that. He's a master at that. Psychologically, working the media, all that. That's Pat. That's Pat. But X's and O's, Spo runs circles around his ass. That's how much better he is. Okay? And that's what has saved Riley from really looking really bad. Spo. That's how good Spo is. But right now, Riley is doing exactly the same thing Shula did decades ago. Not adjusting to the changes in the game. Not adjusting to the way business is done. And in life, you know it and I know it. If we don't adjust, we die. That's just the way it goes. So you better watch the landscape, whatever it is, and don't fight it. Adjust. That's just kind of the way it is. And the Heat continue to refuse to adjust. Because if they really adjusted, they would be trading Bam and Tyler and what's the kid they got now that was with the Clippers and Wiggins, Powell and Wiggins. I'd be trading all of them for picks. That's what I would be doing, because that's the way it's done nowadays. But the Heat refuse to adjust. They've only adjusted a little bit because now they've drafted and kept their guys, which is an adjustment. But it took Riley forever to adjust to that. Anyway, there you go. That's our Heat talk right there for you. Suds 3201. Good morning, Big O. Where are you at with your Madrid tickets? I got the flight and the game tickets. Hope to see you out there. We've already got our flight. We've got our Airbnb. I am still looking for one ticket, actually. So anybody got a ticket, they can sell me. Tell me. Because I don't want to do I can do the media credential thing. I don't want to do the media credential thing. I actually want to go enjoy a little live action with the fans and have some fun. Yes, sir.
Armstrong has been released. Andrew Armstrong, the wide receiver. And also, just for anybody that watches the show normally, Tommy DeVito.
Oh, yes.
Being released by the Giants.
Yep, Tommy Cutlets. Let go. And he had a good preseason, by the way. He actually played well in the preseason. But it's a numbers game. They had to keep the veteran quarterbacks. He's not good enough as a young guy to like Tommy DeVito is a guy that could float around as a backup for a few years in the league. And he'll be good enough to be a backup, but not a guy that you're ever looking at like he's got potential to be a starter. So there's no future with him. So, okay, we'll stay with the veterans. And that's it. And that's what's going on. That's what they did. And if I didn't thank you, Suds 3201, thank you for the super chat, sir. Appreciate it. Let's see. Dolphin says, I just can't believe that it's been almost 25 years since the Finns won a playoff game. Yeah. A quarter freaking century. Yep. Frustrated Finn is all the way back at the show when I was talking about Ring My Bell and Anita Ward. Wow, he is trailing. But thank you, sir. Appreciate you tuning in right from the get-go. And please smash the hell out of the like button. I see you guys got us over 100. Thank you very much. Let's get to 200 now. What do you got, Sean?
They're releasing hot and heavy now. They have released impressive rookie safety John Saunders Jr. That's from Barry Jackson. I'll keep you updated as they release.
No surprises so far. Outside of, Derek McClendon would be one that's a little bit of a surprise, but not a shocker because they had so many linebackers. That one's kind of close to it. But more, pretty much most of these they're good. They're all right. It is what it is. What do we have here? Don Shula might not have deserved to be pushed out, but when it's time to move on, the writing is in bold print on the wall. Yeah, listen, in the end, the people that followed him weren't good enough, right? Because they didn't really get it done either. But the bottom line is, just like the Miami Heat right now under Pat Riley, it's the same thing that happened with Shula. I lived it. I watched it. The game changed. The business of the game changed. Shula couldn't adjust to the cap. He was already bad as a general manager in trades and free agency. He just wasn't good. He would make a lot of bad ones, and he did a lot of the Belichick stuff, bad in drafting and trading. And then he's such a great coach. He would overcome his deficiencies as a personnel guy. And then came the cap, and that became an even bigger challenge for him. And he just got the Dolphins into cap hell. And then that's Jimmy inherited cap hell. And then he had to fix the cap. And then he was able at least to fix the defense, in the process. And that's what it reminds me of now. It's interesting. We got Manny Navarro coming up. Very interesting. So Shula refused to change, and it cost him. The Heat have refused to change, and it's constantly cost them. They have been saved by Eric Spoelstra's amazing coaching. But really, the front office has failed Eric Spoelstra. Manny Navarro's coming up. For many years, Manny and I said, Manny, the game has changed. They pay their coaches now. They have to actually go out there and spend a lot of money, because we lived off of, hey, let's get Jimmy Johnson out of Oklahoma State under the radar. Let's get Dennis Erickson from Washington under the radar, decent coaches, little bit of success, whatever. Nowadays, that hot coach, everybody knows who he is, and all the money's out there. And we talked about it for many years. And finally, the administration adjusted to the way the business of sports is done. And now they're competing in NIL. They're competing in coaching and all that. They don't fall short in that anymore. They used to be cheap, and they got lucky that everything fell into place and they got championships. Now they've got to do it the way everybody else is doing it and to win the championships. But at least they adjusted. Something that Pat Riley has failed to do, and something that Don Shula failed to do. Speaking of that, hour number 2 with Manny Navarro and our Canes Where Miami Hurricanes report is next.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group, Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
You know, sometimes topics come out of nowhere. Not something that I plan to talk about, but isn't it interesting how we've lived it? You're old enough, unfortunately. But it's funny how in life, you know, you're old enough, shit comes around, goes around, and you get to see the same things over and over again. I talk about that, and it helps us old people with perspective. And It's interesting how we talked about how the Canes refuse to change with the times, and people are spending money, and that's why they were falling behind, and they wouldn't spend money, and they would go cheap, which Randy Shannon and Al Golden and whatever they did in the past, and it was all cutting corners, and it just, you know, we'll elevate Coker, you know, because it's perfect for us. We don't have to pay them a fortune, all that kind of stuff, and they changed their ways. And Shula couldn't adjust to it. It's not that he didn't refuse to change; it's just he couldn't adjust. It wasn't in him. And I see it now with Riley. You know, that they refuse to sell all the pieces, collect a bunch of picks. You know, so that's how you can't every year sell hopium to people. Oh, we're going to acquire this guy, that guy, and you have no trade pieces. You don't have the cap space. You're just hoping that one of these stars just says, "Oh yes, I'll sign with you," and that's not the Heat anymore. They're not looked at as the sexy franchise anymore, and because they don't adjust, it has hurt them. It's interesting. And now we're looking at the Canes in a big-ass game this week to start the season, and we actually feel like they've got a chance because they have adjusted.
Yeah, I think for as long as I'm 47 years old, and you know, been a journalist now for almost 30 years, going on 30 years in this city, and being around great teams and teams that have won championships, teams that have finished last, covered the Marlins for a long time, so I know what that's like. To me, it always comes down to adjusting to the game, the way the game is evolving, right? Eric Spoelstra was one of the first to do that with the Heat, when, you know, pace and space and all that kind of stuff, and the three-point shooting, and positionless basketball. And then it comes down to really being really good at identifying talent and drafting well. And I think, you know, in the college game, the way that sort of correlates to Miami was always recruiting well, identifying players that maybe were, you know, go back to the Howard Schnellenberger days, right? And Jimmy Johnson, finding safeties that they could turn into linebackers because they were super fast, right? You had something that was different and changing and evolving. Recruiting in places that other places didn't go. Keeping the best in your own backyard home. So it's a combination of things, but it's always adjusting and always being on the cutting edge and not sort of just digging your heels in and saying, this is what we're going to be forever. And I think Mario Cristobal, when he took over this program, had the benefit that none of the coaches before him did, which was they're going to spend money. And college football, somewhere right after the Hurricanes won their last national championship, turned into all about money, all about, you know, conference realignment, all about, you know, TV contracts, etc. And it took 20 years of losing for Miami to finally decide, well, we're going to change our ways. We're not just going to do the cheap route and just believe that every kid in South Florida is going to want to come play for the Hurricanes. We're going to have to spend money. We're going to have to go back to, you know, building this thing the old school way. And that's what Cristobal's done. He's done it with recruiting now. He's got a bunch of elite recruits that he's brought in on the offensive and defensive lines to make them solid, to make them competitive, the way that Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia win championships. And we're just in the process of getting there. It hasn't happened yet, but we're in the process of getting there, I think.
Listen, we talk about it. They still are not getting the elite of the elite on a consistent basis because the W's have to be added to that, to everything that they have now. Now they have all the resources that everybody else has. Mm-hmm. Now they've got to prove that they can produce like all those top teams, and then they'll really bust through that threshold. And the good thing is for Mario is he understands this program too. You know, yeah, of course you got to spend, but you also got to understand the program and the recruiting and all that kind of stuff. And that's obviously, dude, that's his strength. So that's actually really, really cool because he's, you know, unlike Golden and some of these guys that didn't really adjust to like bro, entrench your ass in Florida, and especially in South Florida. And Mario gets that.
Well, you have to know, in college, you have to know what kind of athlete you can get, right, at your school. You have to know where can I go and get an easy victory in terms of getting a roster addition to my team? Where do I have to go find pieces that I'm missing? What other parts of the country? And I think the benefit Mario had working for Greg Schiano at Rutgers, and then Nick Saban at Alabama, is when you're at Rutgers, it's really hard to get great players to come play for you. You got to sell them on certain aspects. So he learned, hey, I'm not at the premier school. How do I do it? Then he learned at Alabama, well, if you're going to compete in the SEC and you're going to compete for championships, you better do a hell of a job recruiting offensive and defensive linemen. And he saw the way Nick Saban built it. Then he got a chance to go out to Oregon and sort of do it on his own, right? And figure out, how do I do it at a big-time program? Because FIU was a different monster altogether. FIU, the job he had at Rutgers kind of prepared him for FIU, right? I think ultimately the Alabama job prepared him for Oregon and prepared him for this job at Miami, because there's a different level to big-time winning. And it also taught him where the best players are, right? And you can see Miami is recruiting differently under Mario than they ever did before. They're, they're getting, you know, the Maui Noah brothers is a perfect example. When did you ever see Polynesians on the Miami Hurricanes, right? And yet college football today, you look at those rosters and they have a lot of Polynesian players that you know, the best teams have Polynesian players that play important roles for them. So Miami's become much more of a better equipped to win in college football today because of Mario and his experiences. Without that, they needed a coach who could do that, and then also understand the culture here, understand what the expectations are here, understand, you know, the way you have to carry yourself in a South Florida where the expectations are through the roof always to win, and the support wasn't always there. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see what happens on Sunday night, because he's been working his ass off to try to get this thing right. And, you know, you beat a top 10 Notre Dame team. It shows that you're heading in the right direction and really, you know, starting to get this thing going.
And by the way, you're beating a top 10 team who's number 6, and you're also beating them with a Heisman Trophy candidate. And that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
National championship game. You're at home. Everybody's watching. It's a hated rival in Notre Dame, a long history there of hating Notre Dame. And you've got your own Heisman Trophy candidate in Carson Beck. So this is actually a really cool thing, because Miami has not been in this position in years, dude, where people are taking notice of what they're doing. They've got preseason top 10 respect. They've got a preseason Heisman Trophy candidate. They're at home against a top 6 team in the country. The stage could not be set better for a takeoff and to say, hey, we're back. That's pretty cool.
Completely agree with you. And I think, you know, this Notre Dame team is really good, man. Like, people who are like, oh, they lost a bunch of dudes from last year's team. I'm like, man, they played 16 games. This team, they had a lot of young guys who had opportunities to play, and there were injuries throughout the season, and people stepped up and stepped into roles. I mean, Jeremiah Love, to me, is probably going to be the first running back taken in next year's NFL draft. He is, to me, he's a top 10 pick talent, and running backs usually don't go that high, but he's one of those type of guys that you would probably want to invest in.
He's the Genty of this coming draft. Yeah, I agree.
And their secondary is loaded. They've got so many uber talented, you know, potential NFL guys there. So they're, you know, this is going to be without question Miami's toughest game of the regular season. And so you get it right off the bat, national stage, a night all to yourself on Sunday night to really grab the attention of the country. And, you know, I just hope for Mario's case, those kids show up with the right mentality, especially coming off of last year where you had a golden opportunity to make the playoff and you blew it. Because if they lose this game, to me, they got to go undefeated the rest of the way to guarantee themselves. I'm not talking about the ACC championship, because, you know, if you play Clemson, you beat them, you're getting it no matter what. But I'm saying if you want to have 2 losses and get into the playoff, you lose this game, you better go undefeated the rest of the way.
Yeah, and the beauty of this game is it's a physical game. This is going to be a brutally physical game. Notre Dame is not hiding anything. They're going to want to shove the ball right down your throat. Yeah, they're going to throw some, but they're going to run a lot. And physically on defense, you weren't physical, you weren't dominant, you weren't up to these kind of matchups. So this is the first one to start the season. This is a great measuring stick to find out if you've got a defensive coordinator and if you've made strides from last year, because these dudes are going to test you and they're going to try to break you. They're coming in like Drago. I must break you. So
yeah, 100%. And Miami's got two really good ends in Mesidor and Bain, two guys that I have a lot of faith in. But I've said this to you now for the last several weeks. This entire season comes down to whether or not you get elite defensive tackle play. And teams, Motori, I expect him to be good at linebacker. I think Wesley Bassint will be solid. You've got a good linebacker group. But the table setter, the tone setter is the D tackle. And that's always the case on great teams. And, the Ahmad Motons and Justin Scotts and Artavius Jones and all those guys that they have that are going to be in the middle of that defense have to be really, really good. And if they are, then sky is the limit for this team.
Well, we are 5 nights away. You got 4 of them to get oranged out at Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com. Use our code BIG010. They've got the Catholics versus Convict shirt. They've got a ton of orange gear for you out there. And by the way, a reminder, Matthew Tkachuk will be signing autographs on October 8th from 6 to 7:15, and Sergei Bobrovsky on September 21st will be signing between 11:30 and 1 p.m. And remember, whether you're online or in person, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off on anything with the Canes logo on it. Inter Miami gear, Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Miami Marlins. They got it all there. Florida Panthers, championship gear, all kinds of stuff there at Caneswear. All right, so we talked about the physical part of this game, and on the defensive side, it's all about stopping the run, right? That's kind of the way I look at it. I'm not. They got a new QB themselves. It's not like I've seen a feared passing game from them, anyways, over the last couple of years. So Freeman and company, I don't think are going to hide anything here, right? This is about knowing that they're going to run over you.
It is, and they've got 3 of their starting offensive linemen back from a year ago. Their left tackle, their left guard, and their right tackle. Guys that all played, more than 12 games, started more than 12 games for them. Yes, there's been injuries. Yes, there's guys that are nicked up for them. But the one thing Notre Dame has done consistently year in and year out is put guys in the NFL off their offensive line. And so I expect that unit to be good. I expect them to be physical. I think the key for Miami is going to be forcing 3rd and 5 or longer. Because if not, it's going to be Jeremiah Love on 3rd and 3. It'll be Jadarian Price on 3rd and 2. Like, they'll mix it up and they'll keep those guys fresh. Both of those guys are solid runners. So if you can put CJ Carr in 3rd and long, and look, he's got a good group of receivers, solid guys. I mean, not great, but a solid group. Jaden Greathouse, I think, really proved last year he was better than people were giving him credit for. And then Malachi Fields they got from Virginia put up big numbers for Virginia last year. So they've got veteran guys that have produced, but they don't have any burners. They don't have some superior tight end. It's going to really come down to running the football and stopping the run. And if Miami does that, they win this game.
By the way, you do know that Dolph fans behind the scenes right now watching this are going, yeah, Manny, what the fuck happened to Liam Eichenberg, huh? If Notre Dame's putting in those offensive linemen in the NFL, buddy, what are they doing with Eichenberg?
Yeah, well, listen, they're good in college. I didn't say anything about the pros. They do their job in college, man. Like, Notre Dame has listen. They've been there every single year, winning ACC championship.
It's just it's our luck that we got the only bad one out of the whole bunch.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole lot more.
Like, Wisconsin pumps him out, but we'll pick one and he'll suck, and that's just kind of the way to go. Ohio State pumping out a bunch and we'll pick one and he'll suck. That's just kind of that's where we live, unfortunately. All right, so on offense, Carson Beck takes over, so we got a new QB, but it's a different QB. we're going to see more of a traditional type of an offense and a traditional type of QB than the unconventional Cam Walker.
Yeah, no back. I think it's be a little bit less backyard football, and you know,
we can't do that.
can't do that. Carson Beck's just not built that way. You know, I think look, you've got two good backs in Mark Fletcher and Jordan Lyle who can carry the ball probably somewhere between 12 to 16 times a game each. You know, that's half your offense right there if they're getting that many touches and plus catching the ball out of the backfield. You know, for Miami, the story is going to be the receiver position. Who steps up? Xavier Restrepo's gone. You know, tight end Elijah Arroyo's gone. You got a bunch of young guys that are going to be giving opportunities here. Josh Moore, Malachi Toney, the true freshman. You have CJ Daniels, the transfer. You have JoJo Trader, who's going into his second year, who has a ton of potential, but has to prove he can stay healthy. You got Elijah Lofton, who I love out of the tight end position, but you know, Notre Dame has a really good secondary. So I don't expect for Carson Beck to be throwing the football, you know, on the edges that much. I think this is going to be more about the backs and the tight ends. You know, Elijah Lofton, does he have a big day? Does Jordan Lyle have a big day catching the ball out of the backfield and turning upfield? You know, what kind of plays do those guys make? And are they effective consistently? And, you know, turnovers are going to tell the story because CJ Carr, this is his first start. This is the first big game, first game period that he's playing in. And, you know, Miami's going to be a loud place. Again, if Miami can get up early, force them into third and long, I think this is the kind of game that they can do good enough offensively to win. But if you're asking Carson Beck to throw the ball over the field against this Notre Dame defense, game one, and that's what you're counting on, you're not going to come out victorious. Yeah,
it's tough because we also there's unanswered stuff here. While we know Carson Beck is proven as a player, he's now he's taking the field with a new team and new players and all that, and that's a lot to ask for the kid. And then we've got new receivers, new tight end. There's a bunch of new people that we have to count on, and now they're being put in a barn burner, dude, for the first game. You know what I mean? So it's really cool because we're gonna really find out what some of these guys are made of right away.
Yeah, Francis Marinoa. I mean, you think about, you know, how talented that kid is. This is year 3 starting for him. This is the time when, you know, you say, you know, if you're Mario and you're Shannon Dawson, like, run behind the big fella. He's supposed to be a first round pick, right? He's supposed to be the dominant. Run behind Inez Cooper. Follow those guys' lead. Let them take you to the promised land. And so this is going to be the game where before, you know, those guys were like viewed as young players and let, you know, Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo bail you out. Sunday is going to be all about that offensive line and how good are they and how much can they control the line of scrimmage and create opportunities for these other players besides Carson Beck to step into some big shoes and make plays. So it'll be a fun night.
Any injuries that you think, okay, this is a missing piece for this game, unfortunately?
The only guy I'm worried about is JoJo Trader because I heard he was nicked up in fall camp, but he supposedly had come back and was getting some reps here. So I think they came out relatively healthy from fall camp. There's no major injuries that I'm aware of. Nobody that is going to miss this game per se that they're counting on. I think, you know, is everybody 100%? No, nobody's ever 100% after fall camp. There's always bumps and bruises, and I'm sure we'll probably be wondering at the end of the game, why didn't this guy get the ball more? Oh, he was banged up. Oh, thanks for telling us, Mario. And he'll tell us post game, right, that this guy was dealing with something. So I'm sure we'll learn something after the game about injuries. But going into this, I think everything I've heard is they're in pretty good physical shape coming out of the fall camp.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro and catch his work there at The Athletic. Better yet, subscribe like I do and many others. And, of course, catch him here doing his thing. We'll catch him on Friday talking a little more Canes. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. Take care.
You got it. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off at caneswear.com, online or in person, caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. Sean Stanley, what do we have releasing?
Grayson Murphy, he is gone.
Okay.
That happened during the interview.
Not surprised. He had a good camp, but it's a numbers game, so I kind of get that one. That's not really a surprise overall. Okay. All right. There you go. So Grayson Murphy added to a long list of players. I believe it's Matt Dickerson, Derek McClendon, Ezukama, Theo Weiss, Patrick McMorris, Andrew Armstrong, John Saunders Jr. Anybody else? Oh, and Quentin Bell.
Yep. And then Murphy just now. Yep.
Right. That's it. So those are the names. We're getting closer and closer to the 53. Let's see. Oh, Danny Ainge changed the NBA perspective on collecting draft picks. Pat hatred for the Celtics won't allow him to follow that blueprint. But see, it has worked for the Celtics. It's worked for OKC. It's working for Houston. Even New Orleans has had some success outside of the Fat Boy. It's working around the league. I know it didn't work in Philadelphia, but that's up to you to pick the right players. And, I get the whole hatred for the Celtics or whatever, but it's the game and it's the business and it has changed. And Riley has hurt the Heat because he does not change with the times. And I don't understand that. And he's lucky because of Spo. So if there's, I doubt it has anything to do with that. I just think it's just they're flat out stubborn. But it's sad, bro, that they don't adjust to the times. Pat in Nashville, he says, I used O's Caneswear discount just the other day. Thank you, Pat. And good for you. Save 10%, man. Dolphin Dave says, maybe we need to look at the Tampa Bay Bucks for the next GM. Light is one. He'll be the GM, but maybe we can pick someone off from the front office. Okay. And good UE says, I finally caught it live. Okay, well, welcome aboard, my brother. Thank you. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. I am headed to Orlando this afternoon. I'll be there at Hard Rock Orlando tonight for the Struts and Dirty Honey concert. So if you happen to be in Orlando today for the concert, say hi. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar, Mr. Sean Stanley. And let's go. Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. If your company, corporation, institution, school, whatever, you need custom printing and embroidery, please call my man, Alan Blanco at 3A Graphics. They'll get it done. Wednesday night, tomorrow night, Leagues Cup action. No Messi, probably. No Alba. Inter Miami taking on Orlando City. I'm sorry, no Alba. We'll see if I think Messi should play. Orlando City, 8:30 will be the game time. Saturday at 7:30 at Beyond Bankcard Field, Fort Lauderdale United hosting the Carolina Ascent FC. On Saturday, London United FC will host Miami FC. On Sunday night at 7:30 at Hard Rock Stadium, it is number 6 Notre Dame visiting your number 10 Miami Hurricanes. And today, the Miami Dolphins have made some cuts. Quentin Bell, Grayson Murphy, John Sanders Jr., Matt Dickerson, Derek McClendon, Eric Ezukama, Theo Weiss, Patrick McMorris, Andrew Armstrong have all been cut by the Miami Dolphins. that is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Oh, what else do we have here going on? You got anything, Sean, just in case? Did I miss anything? Nope. Okay. Just want to make sure. Anthony says, Big O, do you get royalties for your name, Orlando City of Florida? Yeah, I mean, how dare they? Seriously. How dare they? Maybe Bill Zito can manage the Finns. Remember we used to say that about Pat Riley for the Dolphins? Not so much now. All right, let's get to it. Yes, sir. You got something for me? I'm sorry. Did I miss something there? Thought I saw some late here. No? Okay. All right, let me get to some music since I am going to a concert tonight. All right, let's do that. Let's start off with musicians celebrating birthdays today on August 26th. Adrian Young, drummer for No Doubt, born in 1969. Dan Vickery, guitarist with Counting Crows, born in 66. Who else? Mitch Malloy, singer with Great White. He took over. Second singer, born in 61. Michael Chetwood, keyboardist with T-Pow, born in 54. Billy Rush from Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes, born in 52. Jack Holder, guitarist with Black Oak, Arkansas, born in 52. Leon Redbone, guitarist, actor, born in 59. Valerie Simpson from Ashford and Simpson was solid like a rock, born in 48, Mrs. Simpson. And that is it for musicians. Not necessarily a super strong list. Let's go with other famous people. Remember, if I don't give you the age, that means they have passed away, unfortunately. Nobel Peace Prize, Mother Teresa, born in 1910. Mathematician Katherine Johnson, born in 1918. Basketball Hall of Famer Tommy Heinsohn, born in 34. TV journalist Bill Whitaker, born in 51. He is 74. Branford Marsalis, great musician, born in 60. He's 65. Musician Shirley Manson from Garbage, born in 66. She's 59. Actress Melissa McCarthy, born in 70. She's 55. Actor Macaulay Culkin, born in 80. He's 45. He looks 65, but he's 45. Comedian actor John Mulaney, born in 82. He's 43. Musician Brian Kelly from the Florida Georgia Line, born in 85. He's 40. Musician Cassie, born in 86. She's 39. NBA Hog James Harden, born in 89. He's 36. Actress, TV personality Keke Palmer, born in 93. She's 32. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do. Petey Williams turns 44. Bobby Duncombe Jr. was born on this date in 1965. One of the Ass Boys, Austin Gunn, he turns 31. And the great Sol Ruca, she is 26 on August 26th, 2025.
They say it's your birthday. They say it's your birthday. Edward Thurston Howe, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir. A happy 61, my friend. Have a great and perfect day, all right? Wish you the best, my brother. Thank you for always keeping it locked here. And really, I think I see your name every day on the chat board, dude. You're freaking amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We are honored, and happy birthday to you, sir. All right, let's move on to music history. What happened today in music history? I know you're wondering, what happened today in music history? I mean, you tell us about sports history all the time, but what happened today in music history? Well, I'm glad you asked. In 70, Jimi Hendrix opened Electric Lady Studios in New York City. He died a few months later, but the studio lives on with many major acts recording there over the years. In 78 on this date, Frankie Valli went to #1 on the U.S. singles charts with the Barry Gibb song, Grease, the signature tune from the hit film of the same name. In 87, Sonny Bono, who once said that he never voted until he was 53, announced that he was running for mayor of Palm Springs, California. He won that election in 88 and eventually went on to win a seat in Congress in 96. I think he died in a skiing accident. That sucks, dude. Anyway, Seal in 95 went on to #1 on the U.S. singles charts with Kiss from a Rose, which appears in the film Batman Forever. In 97, Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers was hospitalized after crashing his motorcycle on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. In 2003, Rolling Stones magazine named Jimi Hendrix the greatest guitarist in rock history. Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Keith Richards, Chuck Berry, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Ry Cooder were also on that top 10 list. Where's Eddie Van Halen there? I have no problem giving Jimmy the nod, but you got to put Van Halen in there. Let's see. 2005, Green Day were named the best band on the planet at the 12th annual Kerrang Rock Awards. They also won Best Live Act. In 2008, Paramore performed at the Minnesota State Fair Grandstand. The Minnesota State Fair Grandstand kicks ass. They have bands all the time. In 2008, Solange tried to beat up Jay-Z. No, I'm sorry. She released her second studio album, Soul Angel, and the Hadley Street Dreams, and it featured I Decided and Tony. In 2016, Britney Spears released her 9th studio album, Glory. It features Make Me and Slumber Party. In 2016, De La Soul released her 8th studio album, and the anonymous Nobody. It features Pain and Drawn. In 2019, Ed Sheeran, his tour came to an end as the highest grossing tour of all time, earning $775 million. They do have birthdays here. Sometimes they do have some that I didn't mention. Jet Black, drummer for the Stranglers, born today in 38. Maureen Mo Tucker from the Velvet Underground is 81 years old today. And that's it. Yep, that's it. That is it for music history. We got it done. Love it. Do you know anything about Dave Portnoy being a big Michigan fan there, Sean? You know about that? So, he's a big Michigan guy. Anybody that loves Michigan hates Ohio State. Anybody that loves Ohio State hates Michigan. It's kind of like the MO. So Portnoy now is working on Fox's Big Noon Kickoff and all that. And Texas is playing Ohio State. And Ohio State now, because he always bashes Ohio State, Texas has banned Dave Portnoy from being on the property. Super petty, whatever, because he's a Michigan fan but I got to tell you something. You just did Dave Portnoy a favor. You just gave them more publicity. You just gave them more influence. Okay? And anybody that wants to hate Ohio State will hate them more. And now more people that maybe didn't care or whatever now will dislike Ohio State or whatever. You're not really going to win if you're Ohio State in this one. If you're Dave Portnoy, you win and you win big. You win big. You want them to hate you. And ban me, go ahead. Just become more popular. You're really actually playing into his hands. You're giving him even more ammunition. So you end up looking like the weaker one out of the two. You're Ohio State. Michigan people are supposed to hate you. Live with it. You're a Gator. Seminoles and Canes will hate you. You're a Cane. Seminoles and Gators will hate you. It's kind of the way it goes. Actually, you're a Cane. Everybody will hate you. Live with it. I'm sorry, Sean. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, Dolphins just released cornerback B.J. Adams also now. So both undrafted rookie cornerbacks who flashed didn't make the 53, that being Adams and Robinson or Barry Jackson.
Okay. All right. It is what it is. Oh, Fish look like going to have a shitty year. I don't know. I like how people catch up to this show. I like how we're usually playing chess and everybody's playing checkers in this whole process. What else? We keep buying dips. When's this MFer going to rip? What are you talking about? We're in 110,000 right now. We were at 16. I'm sorry. Did you just buy right now, Vishal? Did you just buy at 105 or 110 or 115? Did you buy at 80? Because you've ripped. Did you buy at 60? Because you've ripped. Did you buy at 50? Because you've ripped. Did you buy at 40? Because you've ripped. I'm just wondering, when did you buy? Sounds to me like you just bought. You just got in. Well, if you just got in, young man, wait. You don't time Bitcoin. You put time into Bitcoin. That's the way it goes. So, not sure. You must have just gotten in, because I'm sure you're not saying it would have ripped if you're at 80. Like, I got this guy. I just, sometimes I'll go back to some of the tweets that I've had in the past, and whether it's negative or even positive, right? And here's a guy. I'm going to find the tweet now. Give me a second. Where are we at here? Hang in there with me. I'm gonna come up with it. Here we go. Some guy named Moozy, which, by the way, he doesn't even follow me on Twitter. Okay. He goes, I know you're not a financial advisor, but I just recently put a bit of money into Bitcoin and Ethereum for the first time because of what you've been saying. I don't know who this Moozy guy is whatsoever, but it was October 5th of 2022. Remember, I told you, don't time the market. You put time into the market. Ethereum was at $1,300. Bitcoin was at 20,300. How's Moozy doing? Now, I don't know if Moozy, has the balls and stayed with it and stayed strong, but I think Moozy's doing pretty good if he got Ethereum at 1,300 and Bitcoin at 20,300, because I was talking about it when it was there and even lower than that. I was telling Ethereum when it was 900 and 1,000 and 1,100, and he got it at 1,300. Okay, but it was pretty low. And then Bitcoin was at 20,300. And this is October 5th of 2022, 4 days after my birthday. So this is we're not even 3 years out from this. This is 2 years and like, what is it? Like 8 months or whatever, 9 months. So he's up quite a bit. You don't time Bitcoin, you put time into Bitcoin. And there's a reason why I kept telling you. Remember, I told you whenever would ask me, rookies would ask me, 40% of Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum. Didn't I say that all the time? And then the 10, 10, and 10. Yeah, use those for altcoins if you want to take chances and all that, because we all do. Because, you can make bigger gains in those, in a short amount of time. So you want to take chances. We all do. But keep your money basically in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Is that not the way we have guided you from the get-go? Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Look what's gone on. We don't mislead you. We do our homework. I'm not a financial advisor. I may know more than your financial advisor, but I'm not a financial advisor. At least I've been told that by some of you that actually have a financial advisor, and they've left them and they said, yeah, no, I follow your advice instead of the financial advisor. And I'm not a financial. I'm just some schmuck that does a radio show. That's it. Yes, sir, Sean Stanley. What do you have for us? More cuts? Do we have a trade? No? Oh, no, nothing? Oh, okay. All right. He's waving me off like, yo, get lost, bro. I got nothing. I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you. Nothing, honey. Nothing, honey. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And we encourage that because we get 100% of the donation on Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. The Super Chat we appreciate, but we only get 70% because stinking YouTube takes 30. So that's why we tell you and encourage you Cash App or Venmo. Okay. Jay Bird or J5167. That's not Jay Bird. That's just Jay. Big O is playing chess while we play checkers, and McDaniel's playing virtual reality tic-tac-toe. Yeah. Yeah. Him and Waller are playing virtual reality tic-tac-toe. What concert am I going tonight? Well, I am going to. The Struts and Dirty Honey. Dirty Honey opens up for the Struts. Two bands I love. Love. Going with the wife. She loves the Struts, and she likes Dirty Honey now. Now I've gotten her into Dirty Honey. She likes Dirty Honey. Maybe she might be going in her sexy Dirty Honey shirt. So yeah, and I'll be there at Hard Rock Live in Orlando. I'll be taking off right after the show. So if you are going to Hard Rock Orlando tonight for Dirty Honey and the Struts, say hi. Be out there. Oh, what's good to buy right now and 10x in a year or two? See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna, dude. I'm a long-term investor. How about this, my brother? How about you buy Bitcoin and it 15x's from now to 2030? How do you like that? How do you like that? 15x from now to 2030. And Bitcoin is at 109,000 something right now. I think I just saw it. I'm always on top of it. 109,634. It was at 124,000. It is gifting you. What is that? Like 9%, I want to say. So you are being gifted a 9%. Just there you go. If you buy Bitcoin right now, you will get an automatic 9% because we're going to soar past 124. I think I put it out yesterday. I mean, because I kind of keep you guys informed here all the time. Let me give you a little stat about Bitcoin. Okay, because some of you out there, I guess I talk about it enough, but some of you don't want to understand this. You're worried about a small dip in Bitcoin? This is what I tweeted out yesterday. Ever heard of the word resilient? Bitcoin has dumped 8% or more and bounced back 1,063 times. So, my brother, don't put a lot of thought in it. Just put it in a Bitcoin. Okay? That's it. That's all I'm telling you. Not a financial advisor. I don't know shit. I'm an idiot. But we're going to over $1 million by 2030. I think 1.5. So we're at 109. You do the math. We're looking at about 15x. Okay? Have fun. Get the best asset in the world and the one that is finite. Get out of dollars. We'll have a stock market crash in 2026 that will be ugly. And people will be moving out of that and into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is going to go to some ungodly numbers. He's right. I regretted taking out Bitcoin last November, but I got fired and had to pay my bills, and it jumped all the way to where it is now. I'm back in a crypto locked in. There you go. But hey, bro, you got to pay bills. You got to pay bills. That can happen to anybody, my brother. Losing your job and having to pay bills. That's a reality we all live in. It sucks. I'm glad you're back, my brother. Dolphins will very likely be able to bring back any of the guys they released today. Only about 2% of the players released will be claimed. Yeah. Just beat the Colts. Let's start there, and we cannot lose that game. I'm with you. You lose that game, I'm going to be so freaking pissed. Brett says utilizing financial advisors is fine, but experience in doing homework properly and thoroughly is the best way in personal finances. No one cares about your money more than you. I fucking love Brett. He's always got like common sense stuff that he throws out there. Just intelligent shit that he throws out there every goddamn time. You're awesome, Brett. I look forward to having a beer with you one day, my brother, or a drink or smoking a cigar or whatever it is. I look forward to that day, Brett. I really do. I look forward to meeting you, man. I really do. Jeff in Long Island, I see McDaniel's game plan to throwing the ball to Smurfs, top 25 receivers, 6 foot or over, except Tyreek. Get with the program. Yeah, well, some people adjust, some people don't. It's kind of like a theme this year, right? Or this day. Belichick was flown in by Ross so Greer and McDaniel can latch on to his titties and drink some magic so they can win a playoff game, says the Colonel. Okay. All right. I mean, hey, we'll do whatever it takes to win. Oasis is playing in New Jersey. Good for you, dude. Good for you. I've seen Oasis a couple times back in the day. Unfortunately, they're not coming here to South Florida, so I'm not. And fiscally, I'm not in a position to go travel. So I'll hopefully see them another time if I can. If not, it is what it is. At least I got to see them in their heyday, which is a beautiful thing. So there you go. Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button. It is very important that you smash the like button. Okay. That is imperative for our growth. Don't forget BigCheeseMiami.com, proud sponsors of our program. Go see Gary and all the great people out there. Started with Billy and Gary over 40 years ago. Rest in peace, Billy. We love you, my brother, and miss you immensely, man. Go out there, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. The pasta is shipped from Italy, cooked fresh daily. You're going to love it. The food is family servings, and those garlic rolls are to die for. The menu is ginormous. And remember, they've got the party platters too. So you can make any dish a party platter too. 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, and the walls are filled with Hurricanes memories. That alone is worth the trip. The food is exceptional. You're going to love the food. But when you see the walls and all the Hurricane memories that are on it, and autographs and pictures and everything from the last 40 plus years, it'll blow you away, man. Go check it out, BigCheeseMiami.com, and tell them that we sent you. All right. Joyce Channel says, what's your prediction this season? I'm thinking 7-10. Yeah, that's actually where I'm at right now. I'm looking at 7 wins. That's probably where I'm at right now. 7 wins. 7 wins. McDaniel fired before week 10, and we've got an interim, and we get to see Weaver do his thing, and then hopefully he becomes the guy in 2026. That'll be my prediction. I'm sticking with that. And we thank, of course, the great Ira Winderman, Manny Navarro, and, of course, the amazing Sean Stanley, who masters this program every single day. Appreciate all of you out there that tuned in and keep it locked in. Hit that like button, whether you're watching or listening at any time, anywhere. Appreciate it as always. We shall see you tomorrow afternoon. Actually, tomorrow we are at Hialeah Park. Normally it's on Tuesdays, but I had these tickets for months, and so we switched it to Wednesday tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Buys me time to sleep in. Anyway, see you all tomorrow. Be good out there. Be safe. Much love. 2 o'clock tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.